Minecraft. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. New microphone. If I sound a little different, it's because I'm trying out the Blue Yeti, which I just recently ordered after Kurt had a tweet about a good deal on this microphone. And so let me know what you think of the audio quality. I'm sure it's going to sound a little different, and I'm going to continue to do some tweaks and adjustment. In any case, today we have more on the Mindcrack fan server. Unfortunately, I spent most of the time alone, and currently no one's on the server again, but we are going to do a new build, kind of a new twist on an old design for a mob farm. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, radio voice. Hello, and welcome back to the Mindcrack fan server. Where am I standing here? What's this crazy structure? And what are these things? Future site of an awesome mob farm, I hope, says Brian. We are on the Mindcrack fan server, and I have been building. I did a live stream earlier today where I was lighting up a lot of the cave systems underneath the ocean in this vicinity of the world. And I'm currently the only person on, which I'm sure helps a lot. And let's see if I can manage to... Haven't figured out what to do about spiders yet. They're kind of being a general nuisance in this thing. I'm using a design idea for a mob trap that I think I've seen before, but I've not seen anyone utilize it anytime recently. Let me just see if I can get rid of some of these spiders real quick. There we go. Alright. So what do we have here? Let me go over to my little observation deck, and apologies for the piston noise. If you notice something different with my voice, it's because I have a new microphone. I have a Blue Yeti, which I'm using to record this video for the first time, and it allows me to do all kinds of cool things, like I can pull on the kind of Kurt J. Mac radio voice and get kind of up close and personal with you all. As well as, yeah, it just, you know, the usual kind of thing. Sounds a little bit different. Seems to get a little bit more bass, a little bit more kind of presence in the room. But yeah, we used it in the live stream today, and so far I'm happy with the microphone. So that is cool. What we have here today is, why don't I go ahead and turn it off for a moment. Let's inspect it working just kind of briefly. Pistons on both ends are pushing these little things back and forth every so periodically. As with my mob system exploration and tactics, I don't yet have a good on-off switch. And so instead, I just break a piece of redstone and a clock. But yeah, as you may know, soul sand is something you can obtain from the nether, and one of the interesting properties of soul sand is that it's actually only 7/8 of a block tall, and so you kind of sink when you're standing on soul sand. And I don't have a good way up here anywhere, do I? Can I get up to the top of this? I will just place some temporary blocks so that we can get up here and take a look at the things that I want to show you. Alright, we'll do that. So suppose we're standing up here. You'll notice each time I cross over the soul sand, you sink down a little bit. And so it turns out that mobs, you know, will also sink down due to the physics of the soul sand block. And when you push a whole row of blocks, where some of them are normal blocks and some of them are soul sand, back and forth with pistons, the mobs will sink into the soul sand, and then when the other block comes back, they will sink right through the block. And so this kind of acts as a sifter for the tall mobs, and so it goes back and forth, and then they fall through to the next level, and it goes back and forth on that level, and they fall through, and they fall through, and after they've fallen through a few levels, if I go ahead and tear this scaffolding back down. Actually, I might want to leave this because I'm probably going to build some more. Why don't I leave this here? If I hop down, ouch, down here, I guess we'll climb up this ladder again in a moment. Here's a hint. Don't fall off of the top of this thing when you're not wearing feather falling boots. During the construction of the little bit that I've created so far, I fell to my death right here, and all of my stuff got scattered into the ocean. And so I ended up having to put a bunch of pumpkins down on the ocean floor so that I could see what I was doing in order to try to retrieve my items. I think I got everything except for a diamond pick that I lost down there before it despawned. So yes, don't take a big fall and have your items explode into the ocean. The bottom level of this then is just a bunch of water streams, so eventually all the mobs, or at least all the tall mobs, not the spiders, come falling down into this area, and they get funneled down into here, and I'm not going to go down there because that's just a big fall of about 30 blocks that kills them. Eventually, I could raise the floor up here to turn it into an experience farm rather than just a mob farm. And yeah, they fall and they die right here, and they drop a bunch of stuff, and that's what I collected just in a few minutes today. And when I'm the only person on the server, at least, it seems like even with only 3 floors of this thing, I'm getting reasonable spawn rates now that I've lit up a great deal of all the cave systems that are kind of within 100 blocks of this. And so I'm hoping that if I kind of raise up the floor a little bit, I could then turn this into an experience farm, where you could just go and swing at their feet or whatever and kind of kill the mobs that have already been weakened by the fall. But I think I'm going to do a little bit more building, and I haven't figured out what to do about the spiders, because spiders just spawn on this thing, and then they're not really gumming up the works in any sense. I don't think they're climbing down and getting into the water stream and covering up the hole, but they're just kind of a nuisance and they're working against the mob cap, and so I haven't come up with a good idea for what to do about spiders yet. But apart from the spiders, it seems to be working pretty well. I guess I could put some half slabs somewhere on top of this that the pistons wouldn't push. That actually might work, except for then the mobs might stand on them. I hadn't really thought about this aspect before. I basically just came on tonight, and I'm really kind of testing it for the first time since I've lit up the caves. So yes, apologies if this is a little, you know, it's an in-progress kind of build, as opposed to something I've kind of fully worked through. But one can imagine, you know, if I put a half slab here, and every so often to prevent the spiders from spawning, the blocks underneath would just go back and forth, and so we'd prevent the spider spawns, I think, successfully, because they need a 3x3 area that has blocks they can spawn on. However, then other mobs might have a chance to walk up on them before they fell through, so I'm not sure if that would work well or not. It might be worth a shot. In any case, I'm going to do a bit more building here, and we'll try it out again. Well, the sun's going to go down pretty soon. I'll bring you guys back in after I've done some more work. Okay, there we go. You can see a skeleton falling from level to level. He is managing to walk around, and now actually he might have walked to a safe spot. Just been trying to find a good vantage point where I can actually kind of see what's happening. The skeleton is walking back now. A lot of spiders still caught up in the trap, but then he fell through, and then he fell down, okay. And now there's a creeper or a zombie, there's a creeper again. He fell through to the next level. And now he's walking towards me, and now he just fell through again. Alright, so this gives you a good sense of the operation of the trap. And yeah, it's really pretty straightforward to make. It involves, you know, I have an 11 by 11 square here. And so there's kind of 22 pistons on each level, and I've got some mobs spawning on the top on the layer that I haven't completed yet. But it's relatively light on resources, actually, and a very kind of repeatable design. And so I expect I can make this very tall, and I think it might turn into an extremely high-efficiency trap. Because right now there's just 3 levels, and you can see all the mobs that are actually... This is actually a really good vantage point. I'm glad I just built some extra blocks out here so I can get a better look. Yeah, this is actually pretty fantastic. And this is just in a tiny ocean biome here on the fan server. My base is just right, yeah, it's right over there. Just about 100 blocks that way. And I got lucky. This ocean does not have a whole lot of caves underneath it. And I've lit most of them up. And I'm also lucky tonight because right now I'm the only person on the server. And so all the mobs on the server that are trying to spawn are basically spawning up here in my trap, I think. And so, here's the other thing that I haven't checked on, the particular water currents that I have. I think it's the case, it does look like they're clogging a little bit, but I just saw a guy drop down, and so I think the mobs will continue to drop. And so, yeah, I feel like kind of like stage 1 of this is definitely complete in terms of kind of proof of concept and whatnot. So, alright, I'm happy with that. Let's leave some light here so mobs don't spawn on this little ledge, but I'm going to leave this out for an observation platform. That's what I originally built that for. And then I guess the next thing I would like to do, whee, is see, I think I built this thing up about 30 blocks, see how high I can raise the floor until they're just barely staying alive as opposed to dying. And, alright, let's just try plugging up a floor here. Alright, let's see if they still die. Alright, seems like they're still dying at that height. And so we will raise the floor again and again until I find an appropriate floor height to where they become kind of one-hit kills. Alright, I had to punch him 3 or 4 times, so that seems like that floor is a little bit too high. So let's try it maybe here. And plug this up. Yeah, I think he's about a one-hit kill right around there, so maybe I could kind of... Alright, that guy died on impact. It's probably the case, since I have a water stream, that some of them kind of jump or swim up right before they fall into the hole, whereas others just fall into the hole directly, and so as a result, it kind of randomizes the fall damage that they take. Some of them take, you know, 1 block more fall damage than others, and so I might need to fool around with this a little bit. I think I have, yeah, I have a couple of ladders in here. So let's grab some ladders. Yeah, it seems like actually most of these guys are still dying. So let's get this back here. Let's try putting the floor here and see how it does at this height. And it also seems like it works a little bit higher efficiency if I'm up a little closer to the trap, which concerns me a little bit. I don't have a good enough sense of how mob spawning works vertically around the player. And it could also just be the case, oh my gosh, that we're getting chocked full of spiders up here. And so I have to figure out what I need to do about the spiders. Oh yeah, look at all the spiders. Well, if you want an experience trap, it doesn't hurt to kind of come up here. You can pretty much fight them from inside the ladder well, and they can't get you. And so I can get plenty more experience just by killing off all these spiders who have spawned. Although they're getting stuck around all the edges, and they're, yeah, all glitchy on the corners and whatnot. Hello, spider. Oops! Ah! Yikes! Hello, spiders. Actually, yeah, they're gonna chase me off, right? So they'll all come down here and fall down here, and... Yep, here they come. Hello, spiders. Alright, so there's definitely some fine-tuning I need to do to the trap, but overall, I think this design has potential. And let's see how much loot I just got from different guys over here. Oh yeah, 16 more of that, 14 more of those, 13 more zombie flesh. Yeah, for a not very big trap, this is working pretty quickly, so... Alright, that seems pretty good. Let's see. I think I'm going to keep working on this, and I'm not sure if I'll do more of this in this episode, or if there's other stuff that I'll do in this episode of the fan server. I really thought there were going to be more people on, and I might have a chance to interact with folks. It's only like 10 p.m. my time, which isn't too late, and so I don't know where everyone is. I'm all alone. I'm all alone. Alright, I'm doing some more work on the mob farm, and it seems we will have a friend. Highboy is on the server. He's not feeling well, so I don't know that we'll actually talk to him on Skype, but perhaps we can get some help or some feedback on how things are going. And it's also just fun to interact with folks. I'm gonna turn the music down. I don't normally like to fiddle with the settings, but I've had the music on for streams. But during streams, I talk less. Alright, in any case, when Highboy gets over here, I'll probably record some more. Alright, so Highboy's coming over. It just occurred to me why some of the mobs, I keep raising the floor in this thing, and some are still dying. And it's because they're taking little bits of fall damage each time they fall through. And so they have kind of variable amounts of health left, and so that's not good. I'm not sure how to cope with that quite yet, and so hopefully I'll come up with something clever. Alright, but we do still have, it seems like, more spawn whenever I go up higher. But we're definitely getting a fair number of them. Okay, so I have good news. I installed a bunch of half slabs yesterday, and as a result, it does seem to have stopped the spider spawns. Stand back here. Let's go ahead and make the viewing platform over here so that we can kind of stand together. Soul sand causes mobs to fall through. And so hopefully we'll actually get to see some more mobs spawning, but the half slabs are working to mostly prevent the spiders. I think there's a tiny little edge or a lip where spiders might spawn. And so let's stand and watch and see if we get some more spawns. Hey, there they go. Cool. Oh, and some of them are falling out the side, and so they're taking more fall damage as they fall on top of the pistons. So that's noteworthy. But yeah, it's definitely working. It would be super cool if this turns out to be more efficient than the Etho model. Neat. Oops, oops. We'll pretend I meant to do that. Hey, I finally managed to get it with me falling through. I've fallen through a couple of times now. I'm not quite sure exactly when and how it happens. Maybe you have to be like exactly on the edge of a border or something. It just started raining and there's all this piston noise. Let me get out of here. Hi, boy had to leave, so I'm all alone on the server again. I've turned particles off so that I don't have the rain sounds. And I have moved the base of this thing up again. It seems that both some mobs are taking fall damage along the edge, as well as potentially some mobs taking suffocation damage as they fall through, and so the mobs have different amounts of damage, and so I think it's better to have them higher up if I want to have it be an experience farm. Some of them will take more punches or whatever in order to kill. And then I've also installed a hopper here, just to kind of catch some of the drops if I happen to be away. And here's our first victim. And so these guys are taking a few punches, but this will give us a sense of just kind of how quickly the farm works, perhaps. And so far, I'm not unhappy with the rates. We've already had, I think that was 6 mobs. And I think we just saw the sun like going down. It's always hard in the evening time. Yeah, we're just a little bit after. It has turned nighttime. I do think that for the most part, I've eliminated the spiders, and so that should also help the rates of the other mobs that can actually fall through the trap. So I guess I'll just stand here the entire night and try to get a sense of how many mobs go through, and as well as how many items we managed to pick up, and so I'll let you guys know. Okay, well I did basically a full night of just kind of standing around, and here are the drops that I got. I think there were just about 20 mobs this night, but basically that is the loot that I ended up getting. And yeah, we've only got 4 levels on it, and so I could easily put like another 10 levels above this thing. And so I think this is definitely going to be plausible as a working mob trap for drops, as well as an experience farm. I'm up to level 30, and so I'm going to head back to base, and we are going to try enchanting, something good. I'm not sure what. I think I've decided that the next thing I will enchant is a diamond sword, because I would really like to get looting 3 that I can use in the nether to try to fight some wither skeletons, because a beacon block would be super cool. I did already do a diamond sword earlier today in my live stream, and we got looting 2, and so if I happen to get another looting 2, that would also be just fine and dandy, because then I might be able to combine them with the anvil, Although that one has a bunch of other enchants on it, so actually I might not be able to do that. But in any case, we'll make a fresh diamond sword. I can't remember if I mentioned it in the previous episode. Basically, whereas in exploration and tactics, I just tend to use unenchanted iron armor and iron swords. Here on the fan server, I've been allowing myself some diamonds. The blast protection is especially good for the occasional laggy creeper. And I've got Feather Falling 4 as usual. I've named those Brian's booties, because Feather Falling 4 is just really useful on some boots. And yeah, the diamond sword, I was just tired of making iron sword after iron sword after iron sword, so I finally made myself an unenchanted diamond sword to fight the mobs with. But let's see if we can get a good enchant for level 30 and a diamond sword. Looting 2 or looting 3, ideally looting 3, is what I would really like. Let's hope we don't get Bane of Arthropods 5, like some people. Knockback 2, sharpness 4. Well, that's a very nice PvP sword. That will not be bad against mobs either, but really not what I was hoping for. But the good news is we've got the starts of a mob farm, and so hopefully in the not too distant future I'll be able to get up to level 30 reasonably quickly at will, and then we'll have our fair share of enchanting. I can't remember if I gave much of a tour of this whole area. There isn't much to speak of. There's an ugly cow farm. There's, wheat. There's some chickens hiding down here who are sitting on some hoppers. So we can see the chickens keep dying and suffocating in the walls because Minecraft. Got pumpkins, we got reeds, got trees of various different sorts. The usual kind of stuff. Now that we've been to the nether, we've got nether wart. I think in a future YouTube episode here in the Mindcrack server, we'll do some exploring of the nether. It occurs to me that if you're going to be AFKing at the mob farm, it makes sense to make it a kind of sustainable area. And so I'm going to grow some melons over here, and I've got nether wart, and I brought over some gold, and I have some glass, and obviously we have the creeper dust, so that you can make splash healing potions. That would kill off any zombies and skeletons that build up. The creepers... Oh, and I brought over some books, so if you wanted to do extra enchanting and didn't have objects to enchant, you could always enchant a book. The creepers, it just occurred to me I could try to get some cats and see if I could add a mob sorter onto this thing. Etho, obviously, has just been recently using a mob sorter in order to, do some cool stuff that was like the stuff that I was trying to do in the previous exploration and tactics world back around the time frame of... I think it was like beta 1.2, basically using villagers and cats in order to sort the mobs. I was trying to make a automatic cobblestone factory where basically skeletons were going to shoot creepers and then explode a cobblestone generator with lava and water. Etho was calling it a bomb factory. And yeah, but I could just maybe possibly sort the creepers out into a different chute. And then we could kill the skeletons and zombies with health potions, and then use like damage potions on the creepers or something, is another possibility. In any case, I'm still just trying to think through all the things that I would want here. Probably first order of business, though, is to continue improving the efficiency of the farm with some more building. Alright, I do think I'm going to go ahead and call it here for today. In any case, I'm very happy that the Mindcrack fan server has inspired me to try to come up with some new things to do that will be useful community builds. I'm hoping that in the future there'll be more opportunities for interaction. But at the same time, I've been happy both to have a lot of time streaming on the server as well as interact with some folks off camera. I was having a good time with Murph yesterday. We went to another fortress and did some exploring and chatted on Skype. And yeah, I will see you guys again in the future, possibly with exploration and tactics, obviously with more Ruins of the Mindcrackers with Vaughn and Zul'jin, and probably with more fan server stuff as well. I have a lot of free time again. I, over the last couple of weeks, had some other things going on, but I have free time, and so possibly we will get into more than one video a day at some point, assuming I can actually get to that. And yeah, possibly going to add some oc.cc, the Project Ares server, into the mix in terms of what's on YouTube. So look forward to that. In any case, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.